Good afternoon, Federico Ferrante here in beautiful sunny Pompano Beach, Florida, United States. And it's a very exciting day today because this is the very first Azimut-68 Flybridge which landed in the Americas, in the USA. We just introduced it for the first time at the last Palm Beach Boat Show, and today we're going to do one of our customary video going through the entire boat in a little bit of a specific and technical way. So why don't you join me and come on board? While we are here on the Transom, extremely important and interesting feature is actually the swim platform, because very comprehensive capacity, 1,300 pounds of weighting capacity for an 11 feet tender. We usually recommend jet tenders, so there is no danger with the propellers rotating, but of course anything which can fit in the 1,300 pounds capacity and length and beam would be fitting on this platform. And it's really incredible. You control the platform with this little keyboard here, and I'm actually in the industry now 27 years. I guess I'm getting old, and I still remember the days where we were carrying tenders on the Flybridge with manual cranes, and it was putting the tender in and out of the water was really, first of all, an enormous maneuver, and secondly, it was actually dangerous. And if you think about the evolution, and this boat is all about innovation and evolution of the industry, it's just amazing, and this is just the beginning. But we're really pressing a button up and down, and you all launch a tender in a heartbeat by yourself without the need of anybody, anything on anyone. So it's a fantastic feature, which also has a bonus use, because once the tender is off and you remove the chocks, it's beautiful to just keep the platform. You can set it at any height you want, so you can have it where just your feet touch the water, or you can have it where you can lay with a little layer of beautiful water on your back in hot sunny days, and you can use it to sunbathe or chit chat with friends in and out of the water in that kind of so it's a very versatile element, and it comes standard, of course. Let's walk into the cockpit, because again, we will go through so much innovation on this 68 Flybridge, which is everywhere. As usual, I will never go through telling you that this is a table. I will tell you what this table is, for instance. And this, again, innovation. You will see this table throughout the entire boat. Is our latest introduction in the optional price list, and in a mix between Corian and Betacryl. So you have a trim of a color and a material, and then what resemble a very natural stone, but all of this material, believe it or not, is man-made synthetic, which means that is resisting to anything. So are over the days of natural stone and marbles, where God forbid that drop of margarita hit the marble and then you are done forever with those stains. These are material which give us the look that we want and are resisting to anything. An extra step, because you have seen us using synthetic marble per se already in the past, this is an evolution. Why? Because we have been able to create a seamless trim. The trim is something that is beautiful. Oh, you want to have a little contrast, so it's a pretty feature. And so far we have always been able to do it with using different material. It was either an applied trim, it was a thick trim, it was a stainless steel trim, and there was always a border between the material A and B, which get dirty. There is dirt going in between. The caulking after a while might get dirty. So now you have instead a beautiful finish, one feel, one touch, no trim, but keeping the two different materials. And as we said, the same theme repeats on all the elements. You will see it on the Flybridge and the bow, everywhere. And so this is your cockpit cabinet, which of course integrates a sink, a molded sink, and is very comprehensive, so it's very versatile to serve drinks and use it as a countertop. It comes also with a tray made of the same material, with fit in this perfect position, and then of course it's fully equipped. Here you have an ice maker directly available for the cockpit, and here you have a nice storage compartment which hosts a little bit of a trash bin here, and then you have very conveniently located your fill. Oh, sorry for they forgot this rug. To fill the water of the ice maker. So once you need to put water on the ice maker, you use mineral water. Of course, you don't use the water from the tank, and the filling is right here. So we put this back and close this. Cockpit, this new color, you will see, this is the first model where we thought, why keeping one color on the cushion? So you will see this light baby blue is our upgraded bodyline fabric, and this light baby blue is in the cockpit, and then the rest of the areas instead have the more customary light gray. I think we should do probably the exterior first, and so then we go inside and we don't go do the in and out. Moving along, features. Of course, the storage. This is a perfect storage for your lines. Now we see that this boat has been just docked here, so the lines are here, but you can tuck them beautifully on your cleat, and then you see this hole is designed for the line to go down, stay protected in the cabinet, and is all much nicer and cleaner than you see it here. So that's the purpose of that. Then you have extra storage here, an extra line. We saw the command there, and let's go down this way again, because there are a couple of features here that I forgot to show. Of course, these are all storage, Glendinning cable master, so this is your shore power, in and out, electrically operated, so you don't have to do any effort when you put in and out 50 amps cord. So as you can see, they're bulky, they're heavy, and it's very convenient to get them come out and retract electrically. So this is your Glendinning cable master. One comes standard, and a second one is available as an optional. This, of course, is your beautiful integrated shower when you come out of the water, right and handy, hot and cold water here. You have other storage here with a water pivot here, so to wash the deck or wash toys. If you like diving and you want to have a direct source of water to wash your gear, that is very handy. Getting to this side, we have something that we have done for this specific customer, which required us to have an inlet dedicated to have water going into all the tanks. So if you need to maintain the tank and do washing, you don't need to bring a hose there. We made this custom system for him, and that's your dock hose connecting to that and feeding the tanks for washing. This instead will be your dock hose to feed the boat. So when you are at the dock, instead of using the water from the tank, you connect the hose of the dock to this element right here, and then you get all the water you need from the city, basically, like if you are at home. Storage, again, this is shore power number 2. When you order the optional second Glendinning, you will have a system identical to the one that I just showed you. When you don't, you have a manual cord that you can connect it to this socket and to the dock. They're both 50 amps. So when you have one, you don't need to connect the 2 cords all the time at all. When you do, the main cord feeds the boat, and shore power number 2 feeds the air conditioning system alone, which is the highest amperage draw system on any boat. But you don't need 2 cords to leave on board. If you have a boat full of people, a lot of people doing the barbecue, then the girls are blowing their hair, and then you want to have full power, that's when the 250 amps cords comes handy, actually, because you need a lot of power. But on an everyday normal situation, one shore power cord of 50 amps is more than plenty to power the boat. I would say let's go up to the Flybridge. You see very nice and comfortable stairs. We always talk about handrails in order to move safely around. Boats tend to move, even though with the revolutionary Seakeeper system that we actually introduced with Seakeeper now almost 15 years ago, roll has been attenuated at level that unprecedented, but still boat moves, and so we want to make sure that you're always safe. So that's why we have robust and spread out handrails everywhere. Flybridge, again, as usual, signature piece of Azimut yachts. First thing to talk about, as usual, is a little bit of construction, because everything you see here, the entire Flybridge structure, the roll bar, and the optional hardtop, everything is in carbon fiber. And again, I always mention that the reason is not really performance. The boat doesn't go faster because this is carbon fiber. We are able to make all these surfaces bigger because they are laminated in carbon fiber. Therefore, they're lighter. That's the only reason. And that is not as simple as it sounds, just doing it in carbon fiber. Carbon fiber requires extra steps versus standard GRP, and particularly a process which is called post-curing, which means that once you extract, I make a long story as short as possible, once you extract a carbon fiber laminated component from its mold, is not ready to be used as if it would be standard glass reinforced product or fiberglass, generally speaking. It requires to post-cure, so it needs to be put in an area of self-controlled climate, humidity and temperature for a certain amount of time, calculated by engineering by the various factors of dimension, weight, thickness, and so on and so forth, and you need to stay there in order to end the curing process of the resin. Those areas, number one, are very difficult to control because temperature and moisture are very important to be controlled, but also they have to be as big as the components. So at Azimut Yachts we have 2 carbon fiber post-curing, we call them oven, which are 80 by 25 feet, 80 feet by 25 feet, because we do entire superstructure and decks in carbon fiber. So it's be careful, because it's very easy to use the word carbon fiber to describe part of the boat built in carbon fiber, but sometimes could be very small components which are easy to be made or they're purchased from outsource. Rather, instead, we make our own in-house with the investment required to get to these kind of sizes. So all you see is carbon fiber, and this is the reason why it's so comprehensive. The 68 Flybridge is an Alberto Mancini design, an Italian star of yacht design, and he has done an amazing job to use all the space in conjunction with our engineering and decisions of materials. This area, as usual, comes in different configuration. This customer specifically obviously opted for the 2 sofas and the coffee table in between. We offer it with that sofa and a beautiful large barbecue cabinet here with a double canyon barbecue and all the storage you need underneath. So picture here, instead of this love seat, a nice big barbecue dedicated cabinet. Or we offer it with a big sunbed which connects to that sofa, and so this entire area becomes a sunbed, and this is more free to put a barbecue cabinet, to put the love seat, whatever you want. So it's very versatile. So while we are here, we actually have a shore shade. God forbid that if you don't want sun in the aft of the Flybridge, the boat is equipped with a shore shade bimini, which is you see coming out now, American product, American made. We use it on many of our boats. We introduced it first on our Verve collection, and then we embrace it and introduce it on many different models. So as you can see, you have now beautiful shade also on the aft of the boat, and on the opposite side of the spectrum, you have instead the opening roof over there, which again, pressing another button, you can create a beautiful opening, which people can use to enjoy the sun. But I always say my best way to use openable roof on the Flybridge is when you have those beautiful nights and you have a beautiful sky full of stars, and why keeping yourself from dining under the star, right? So you can open the roof and still enjoy the sky. As we said, the same material throughout, and we also go through technical spaces as usual. So this entire sofa is, I show you one, but it goes throughout, is all dry storage. So as you can see, the entire sofa is equipped with this, watertight and waterproof hatches, and so this is perfect dry storage for the covers, extra cases of water, sodas, beers, drinks, and anything you can think about. So the entire volume, the entire volume of this sofa is all dry storage. And the same goes for the little sofas over there, both the love seat and the other sofa. So storage everywhere. As I said, this customer decided to order the 2 opposing sofas with the coffee table, so he decided to order the single barbecue, which goes right here. Seal Canyon, again, American brand, guaranteed to grill to perfection. And you have your barbecue here when you want it, and when you're done, you close it, and your Corian and Betacryl top you know, is very nice and clean. Same concept for the sink below, so when it's not in use, or you have extended countertop, and when you want to use it, you have a molded sink, hot and cold water, of course, and integrated faucet, and when you're done, you put down. Here, this customer decided to have 2 refrigerators, so as you can see, so we have 1 and 2. This gives an idea of the capacity of the volume. We can put a refrigerator and ice maker, a refrigerator and storage, so it's a very versatile area. He preferred to have an ice maker in the lower deck and 2 refrigerators here on the Flybridge. Here we have storage on the side and your trash bin, recycle and trash on the side. And of course, very handy and useful counter space here with this little, you know, bar top to, you know, give a little bit more of the dynamic look. Beautiful lounging area here. We actually just brought this boat up here to Pampano from Dania, and we were cruising the Intercoastal here in Fort Lauderdale. The captain was driving, and I was actually working, I swear. I was on my phone dealing with emails, but I was doing it here, which made me feel like I was in paradise. And, but clever use of space, as always. So imagine the amount of storage that you have here. Again, you name it, old drinks and sort of cleaning products, covers. If you wonder what that ladder, extensible ladder is, it's mandatory. We need to provide it. We provide it with every boat. In case you would have a problem with any safety device on the top of the hardtop, for instance, navigation lights, to name one, you might have a light bulb going bad. It's always good to have a spare of navigation lights, of any navigation lights, at least one on board, highly recommended. And you need to do at night, you need to go on top of the hardtop to replace navigation lights which got faulty. That's the ladder that you have to go up there safely and take care of what you need to. And if you wonder what that mast is a new regulation that basically, in case you lose control of the boat, is mandatory to put that double red light. So we need to provide that. It's another safety feature which stays perfectly there as a pin connector here, as you can see, which connects to that corner over there where I was operating the 2 roofs. So this is what is here. But again, it still left a lot of storage. You have extra storage, like if it wasn't enough, here, right in front of the helm. Again, you will see that here they did put the helm cover in there, not very graciously, but it's there. And so it's extra storage here. Easy access to the back of the electronics, always practical. So 4 screws, you remove that panel and you can access the back of the electronics in case of need, upgrade, replacement, and so on and so forth. And this is one of the 2 helms. Without going too much into details, this specific unit is equipped with what we call our Platinum electronic package. Everything is Garmin, and you have 2 16 inches on the Flybridge and 2 16 inches in the lower helm that we will see later, where maybe there is also less wind bordering the audio. Other than that, of course, the 68 Flybridge is powered by double Volvo Penta IPS 1350, which we'll take a look deeply once we do the engine room. And this is your control, this is your fantastic joystick. And Volvo is developing features on top of features to add to this IPS package, because now if you think about it, they supply everything to us, from the electronics. So they did that relationship with Garmin, so now is a package where you can get all the information from your engines only on your Garmin electronics, so you don't need any more engine manufacturer's display on the helms. From your plotters you can see engine communication integration, and they provide us the controls, they provide us this incredible joystick system that they developed. They have the phenomenal DPS, dynamic positioning system, which is that feature where basically you press this button anywhere you are and the boat is gonna stay by herself, keeping the heading and the crossing of latitude and longitude. So it's a very handy feature, especially if you go out by yourself or with limited crew and you need to put your fender out, you need to wait for the gas pump to get free, you need to wait for a bridge like we do here in Florida. I mean, it's very convenient. Instead of constantly maneuvering and keeping your boat in your position, once you are where you want to be, you press this button right here, and Volvo Penta keeps the boat where you need it for you. And you can always want to be in control. You always want to be alert. You don't want to go downstairs or abandon the areas of control, but you don't need to be involved in constantly adjusting like we were used to do in the past. Extra feature that Volvo introduced and is coming on the bigger engines as well, like in this case, is the assisted docking, which is phenomenal. I had the privilege to try it when it was a prototype. We have it now on the Atlantis 45, we have it on the 53 Flybridge. Will come to the range of the other IPS propulsion system, and that is an extra feature which makes docking even easier than it is with the IPS and joystick system. So integration is basically the moral of the story. And again, this is your bow thruster. In this case, this boat order only a bow thruster, and is proportional. So because of Volvo assisted docking requiring proportional bow thrusters, no matter what, we have replaced all our bow thrusters and made them all proportional, because assisted docking is something that can be added at any time. So once Volvo Penta releases assisted docking, that can be integrated, is a software basically, can be integrated in an existing package as this, as long as you have a proportional bow thruster, which that's the reason why we made all our bow thruster proportional on the IPS propulsion system. I think I talked to you enough on this Flybridge, and we can go down and approach the bow. Hopefully the wind is not too strong. And while we are here, sideboarding gate, very convenient. This is not a good example, but I would say very convenient typically for the United States. This is not a good example because we don't have a side dock, but it's actually fairly rare. It's very, very common in the United States to have your market ladder to get on and off the boat, and that's why we provide the boat with the sideboarding gates integrated in the bulwark. And this is another piece of Alberto Mancini design, so handrail integrated in the design of the boat. So that's why you see it in fiberglass. Very spacious, roomy sidewalks, and then here to the bow area instead you have our customary handrail system. Bow, it's simply phenomenal. First of all, super loungy. Now I'm all dressed up and not in the right, but to give an idea, this would be the perfect scenario where you're navigating, you're cruising, you're at the anchor, you're enjoying time with friends, and look at the position. I'm so comfortable, maybe a pillow behind my back, and I could spend an hour here, evening, day, sunbathing. I mean, it's super, super comfy and very well thought and designed. But this is really the piece, because again, I said it, at night you're here with friends, a beautiful cigar, a scotch on the table, and you can really spend a good time in a kind of a sofa, counter-facing sofa environment. And this is why we have the table extended. But look at this, in a matter really of seconds, you can close this table and manually operate this mechanism in a second, and this became an incredible sunbathing area for at least 3 up to 4 people if they really like each other. And where now you have your sunbathing area, cup holders right on your side, you know, your phone, your book, everything is thought out. Even these pockets are made with the Betacryl and Corian as the table, so you see how integrated and how very well thought. Look, drainage in both areas, drainage on the cup holders, so everything you see is just thought out to perform the way it's supposed to be. And then once again you want to put it back in your more conversational way, and you flip it, you open your table, here you have your indent, and there you go. You went from sunbathing to a beautiful lounging and conversational area. Under these pillows, again, beautiful big storage. So once you lift the 3 pillows, this panel goes from side to side, as you can see, and is actually perfect to store the poles and the bimini, which goes right here in the bow. So you see that receiver right there. That is where one of the four carbon fiber poles fit. You have one per side, and those receivers here on the deck. So these are made to host the base of the carbon fiber pole, and look at the quality and thickness of the stainless steel. Beautiful. And what you see here, don't be fooled. This is not rust. This is teak powder. So this is beautiful, top quality stainless steel. So no rust whatsoever. So I was saying, you have the four poles here, a nice big bimini that goes here, and that is to provide shade to this entire area. Once you don't use it, you don't want to move components around the boat. You don't want to go around the boat with these poles, because you risk to hurt yourself, hit something, though everything stores under there perfectly, and there is room to spare as well. Here, I mean, of course, your windlass, 1000-watt motor, so very powerful windlass, but it's also nice to see the amount of technical space. All your fenders, which once you have done using them, they're ugly. You don't want them hanging around anywhere. Perfect spot here. On the two sides, you have a perfect pocket to put all your fender, as you can see. So that's, again, very, very well thought out, so your fender are out of the way and not bothering you. I will say we can go back this way and start getting inside, which is actually not bad, because despite is what, April 6th today, the heat already catches here in Florida. Is extremely hot, so we will feel much better in the inside. Interior, our signature designer, Aquila Salvagni. Let me actually open the entire door for you so you can have an idea of also how the space very well integrates between, you know, imagine now you have friends and family having dinner, lunch, enjoying the cockpit, but look how in and out becomes one. And talking about that, this is also, we talk about innovation, we talk about versatility. So this is a very versatile model, because we offer it in three configurations, 68 feet. So this configuration that you see here, we call it enclosed galley, which we'll talk about it later once we get to the galley. Is enclosed, but is not. So you're not really in a box, but it is enclosed. Then we call it, then there's a second version, which is the open galley, where basically that beautiful bulkhead right here made of the vertical pieces of wood and glass is no longer there, and the galley is completely exposed. So it's completely open. But then we also offer it in a configuration which is called aft galley, where the galley is actually here. This will be the galley, and the salon will be obviously there. So it's a very versatile design. This customer decided to opt for the forward enclosed galley. Important thing that I always like to mention, because it's actually pretty cool and is another element of innovation, because we grew up instead with very strong invasive steps of door frames going from the outside to the inside. Through this oversized drainage system, we have been able now to achieve basically the zero step. So you can see the floor from the start of the cockpit all the way to here. You have 0 step, which is very nice. You know, you can walk, and this is thanks to this oversized drainage here. Once we come into the salon, you can come if you want to. So I can close the door, and we can save some air conditioning. When I operate the door, I always like to show that people might think that it's kind of clumsy to operate this door, and I look like I'm doing a lot of effort. The effort is minimal, but we offer all security devices, because again, boat moves. So God forbid you don't want a door of this size, this weight, this quality to be able to slide, you know, without in complete free form, and maybe there is a kid passing by and the door will hurt him. So that's why every time there is give or take every 2 feet, the door automatically locks in place with a spring-loaded lock. So you need to release the door in order to close it. Yes, it's a little bit more complex than at home, but homes don't move. So that's why the doors are full of these safety, if you wish, elements. Design of the interior, my personal opinion, but probably as a little bias, Aquila Salvagni. I personally am a big fan. I love it. I think this boat came out fantastic. So there is his signature combination of material. So you have you know, the 100% gloss mahogany, you have the 20% gloss oak, and then you have the introduction of this new natural teak feel material here, which gives a third wood into the equation, so make it you know, even more elaborate. We'll go through details here. So storage is always very important, so this comes handy. Here you have some audio video equipment. This boat again is an American boat, came to the United States, so it's very heavy, we call it, in terms of audio video system as our top package, so is very complete, and so you will see a lot of audio video system around. The panel that you see behind there is just a matter of moving this UPS system. There is a panel there. It's very easy access to the filter or the fan coil of this area of the salon. So just by taking out the UPS, you can access the fan coil filter. Storage here, you know, every hinge is always used cleverly. So, and this is actually very nice because this came extremely beautiful. You would never know, and instead you open it and all your glassware is there, including your light control and your air conditioning control right there on the side. So they are hidden, everything is hidden, but again, once you look at it, look, it completely disappear and you will never know or tell. There is no latch, there's nothing, and instead it's very elegant. You might wonder what these are, which is a very good question, and if you look that way, that is the remote control for our privacy slash sunshade for the cockpit. I'm sure you can see, yeah, you see through the glass coming up and down. And so this is operated by a remote control, which is the one I just hit, as well as there is a, let's say, a keyboard that is designed to be screwed, and we never do because the owner will put it wherever he pleases. But that's what these are. So we're actually going to keep that down so it keeps some of the sun away. Again, you wonder probably television. Television for the salon, there is actually two options. One comes out from here. So again, once you don't watch television, you have the beautiful view. Look at the size of that frameless window. So why obstruct it with the television? Once you want to watch TV, there's a TV coming out from here. Storage, we have plenty of storage. I will show you the most significant, but under all the sofas, everywhere there is room, there is a storage. So obviously the front is the base of the sofa, but here in the back there was available space, has been used by our team to create extra storage. And this is on every sofa. So that sofa has a storage in that corner right there. Again, I don't want to waste too much of your precious time showing you details if I can just summarize them, but there's storage there, and there is a storage actually under all this sofa. This is actually an interesting, not a storage, but something that instead I like to show, because this is how easy is the access to the air conditioning system of the dinette filter. So extremely easy, again, not excuses to don't perform minimum maintenance to your air conditioning system. Remember, that's the air you breathe all day long on board, and that's why we make it so super easy to be accessible and easy to maintain. And under the other pillows, there is other storages equivalent to the one I show you there and there. Now we are here. Let's talk dinette enclosed galley. And so, as I mentioned before, this is the version with the enclosed galley, which is enclosed, but we didn't want to create a completely a cage, if you wish, or something which doesn't make you integrate and communicate with the exterior anyway. So our Aquila Salvagni and our design team came up with this brilliant idea, which is this beautiful wood trims, which in between has curved plexiglass. So once you close the door, and I will close it just to show you, once you close the door, you're actually creating an enclosed galley. But you don't feel enclosed. You can still see outside, and outside they can still see you. So it's still you still have a family feeling, but maybe you're cooking something which is smell or there is some noise. People are watching a movie. You want to create some separation. Is we think a very elegant way to create separation without creating a box. Of course, a refrigerator, integrated freezer, and we do offer an upgraded version which is larger in size. The only downside of the larger refrigerator is that is exposed and is stainless steel, is no longer white, but is exposed. So we offer this option if you wish more elegant, because the refrigerator disappears completely in the design and is covered by beautiful woodwork, or for people which have more need, we can offer a larger refrigerator which is stainless steel exposed. Storage everywhere you would expect it. So this is the hood, so that's the only one that doesn't open, but you have storage everywhere here in the kitchen, or galley I should say. You saw those two shelves there. This customer ordered a boat with the optional dishwasher. In case you do not order the dishwasher, this is actually a very generous storage. And we have our customary silverware, all organized here and all made custom for Azimut Yachts. I always like to show that every piece is engraved. So these are components made specifically for us, not off the shelf. You have your combined microwave oven, extra storage here, very convenient for your oven pans. Your spice cabinets here, so all your spices and oil and vinegar and you name it can be here. And of course you have trash. That is not storage, that is a panel that you remove when you want to access the drainage system of the sink. So it's very convenient. God forbid you get clogged with something and you want to access it, you don't have to take a part off of the galley. You rather just remove that little panel and you have the siphon immediately accessible. This is beautiful storage on the side here, and you have extra storage here, very handy next to the sink. The entire area becomes a countertop with all these removable pieces, but when you need it, you have a double sink. Again, very convenient on board, double sinks. This, the decorator will kill me, but I want to show. This is actually very interesting because this is storage first and foremost. This is actually our pot and pans. Yes, you see also these are made for us, and they are actually very convenient because in this you have a package of the minimum you need and it all comes integrated, it closes and it stays there. But what I want to show you again is how easy it is to access electrical spaces. So you see I remove two panels and there I have my fan coil for the kitchen. That's my filter right there. You see I put my finger here and I can take it off, clean it and put it back on. So this is, again, we don't have excuses to don't perform minimum maintenance of our air conditioning system. Sorry for the noise. We put this back. Very convenient also in a galley, especially for Italians. Well, we cook a lot and sometimes, you need some extra ventilation. As I said, there is a hood here, but with the press of a button, you have now a full natural window here. So for my habits, when you have pasta, you make pasta and the water boils, all the smoke, you open the window a little bit and all the smoke will get pulled out and you don't have all the moisture coming in. So very handy, electrical. You don't even have to move the blinds to operate it. And I think we covered the galley. One thing I forgot to say, and probably I would like to come back here to show, because is one of the things that I love the most. Look at the ceilings of this Salon, Galley, dinette area. Do you notice that they are basically one piece? So again, once I was talking about it before, about how we were putting tenders on the Flybridge, I still remember the times where ceilings were made like a puzzle. It was like 15 pieces, they were never aligned, it was very difficult to make them align. When you were taking them down to do some maintenance, it was difficult to put them back. Look at this. Look at the beauty, first of all, and the simple design. This is really like an apartment. The entire ceiling, you have those light fixtures, which are integrated and artistic, and then the ceiling just flow. You have a minimum lines, and it just flow beautifully and round. And same goes for audio video. As I said, this boat is fairly equipped, so you have surround sound here. Those are your rear speaker, and you see the forward and front on the ceiling on the other side, but very flush, very minimalistic, very integrated. Storage, as I said, is everywhere. This is another good volume that provides storage to the salon area. And then we move to this area, which is like on a CD. This will be a bonus track, because it's not really a dinette. It's a little belittling the area to call it a dinette, because it is very versatile. Obviously, and first and foremost, this will be your internal dining. This table I show you, even though it's pretty clear, but obviously they expand. They have support per side. You take your support out, they extend, they move, okay? And the same you would do on the other side. Again, I don't waste your time. We will see in the port gas cabinet there is the leaf, which basically is a copy of this, which goes here in the middle. You lift up a boat table, which I think now they are at the top of their position, yes, and you have a dining configuration. But once you're done dining, assuming that you would dine inside, you put them, so you can actually lower them just by pressing one button here, and you see now both tables are coming down, electrically operated, with this also beautiful leather wrap leg which cover their mechanism. So once again, style, design, Italian class, also in the unseen details. And now look at this. Now you have a beautiful two coffee table, salon area. You have a beautiful large TV there, and you can sit here with friends, and and somebody can watch something on this TV, somebody else can be watching something on the other TV. So this once again converted from let's say a semi-formal dining interior, if outside the weather is not as clement as it should be, like it is now, for instance. Then you can dine inside with those very easy, simple moves. But then instead you can put the tables down, and then becomes more of an extra bonus sofa, TV, salonish area. So very, very versatile. Here is part of your china, the one we believe you would use more frequently at the most. Again, every single piece, can't live without an espresso cup, right? Every single piece done for Azimut yachts. And I want you to look and focus on the details. This is all neoprene, as you can see, it's a soft material, because it's designed to avoid damages, of course, but would be more than damages, noise. You would be doing something wrong with the boat to break a china on board, versus in normal circumstances, if there wouldn't be that neoprene detail, there would be rattling noise of the china, which is absolutely what you don't want. So that's why the attention to details. And this is all your plates here. This, as I said, is the commonly used china. While you're here, I think is convenient for you to look at, again, extra storage solution. So all of this opens. That's very deep, go inside. So this is all extra storage solution. And under here, very conveniently located, now the decorators put these beautiful details, but under here, which again, in an everyday, this could be a top to put your, cell phone and you name it. But then you open it. This is your AC/DC full control systems. So from here you can start and stop the generator, as you can see. From here you select what is your AC power source, which can be shore 1, as we have right now. Remember before I said that only one shore power is needed to power the entire boat. That's where we are right now. You can be on generator, which in the case of this boat is a 21 kW, we'll see later in the engine room. You can have on shore 1 and shore 2. You can have shore 1 and generator. So if you are at the dock where you have only one pedestal and you have a full boat of people, you want extra power, you can still use one shore power cord and turn on the generator for extra power. And this allows you to do that. So AC, DC, easy to control. Once you set up your system, this is not something that you access very often, so then you can use it to decorate. While you're there, that beautiful Aquila Salvagni lamp. So this lamp that you see here is part of the Aquila Salvagni design, dedicated to the Azimut 68. And behind that, when you see that opening, you pull that up, and that is the access to the fan coil of the dinette area. So once again, very easy. You put that panel up, and the fan coil is right there, cleaning the filter. Is very, very easy. I would say let's walk to the helm. This will be a little tricky, but while we talk about the china, I don't want to. Here on this side, there is other two drawers exactly like the one we saw, and you see that is a salad bowl. And trust me, underneath there is another drawer with other china, big trays, so things that you use maybe not as much as plates and cups. So this is basically all your china is in this helm station. Double seat. Of course, the pilot seat comes as standard. This seat is an option. Some customers like to have their friends or significant other or wife next to them when they drive, like this gentleman, the owner of this boat. So both upstairs and down here, he put both the optional co-pilot seat, but this is an option. So if you instead would like more space, this seat would not be here. Helm station. Not much difference. Is over that time where the helm, the lower helm were extremely complete and the Flybridge helm were fairly minimum. Now we really moved to a new design where basically Flybridge and main helm, they are all extremely complete, are very minor. The differences between the two. Here you might have your emergency panel. This is the only difference, is that you might have your emergency panel here. And also the reason is integration. Once again, back in the days, you needed so many controls, so many displays, so many gauges to see so many things that the Flybridge were considered, more a driving station, and then the control station was down here. Now you see everything you need from the electronics, from the plotters. And I put this here. We are not in Italy, we are in Pampano, I swear. But I kind of like it to be, make me feel a little bit also in my other home. Monitoring system, customary for Azimut yachts. These are the symbols, very easy to understand and interpret, which by just touching it, takes you to pages where you control all the system of the boat. So what I was saying is that there is no more need for controls, a button, and gauges. Everything is controlled by here or by a panel like the one we just saw, and then when we will go in the engine room, we'll see a main electrical panel as well. But the everyday interface with the boat is all through here. So this is the control that you would need when you are in navigation. So, navigation lights, anchor lights, we talked about it before, the extractor of the engine room, your lighting of the instruments. If you're navigating at night, you want to dim them. This is very important. These are your tanks. Fresh, black, gray, and fuel. Fuel tank, get the reading once you start the ignition. That's why we have actually plenty of fuel, but you don't see it until you don't start the ignition here. Air conditioning, again, extremely convenient because you can set the temperature from here in every area. You just touch the area and it tells you what goes on in the port side cabin from here. You don't have to go there, and you can set the entire boat to one setting all from here, so very convenient. An unfortunate need, but you always want to know what goes on in many areas of the boat, so always needed is your alarm page. In this case, for instance, it's very interesting. We see that is telling us that we have a very low fresh water tank level. So if you will be using the boat, you want to know that. Chain counter, of course, this is how you control your windlass, and you see your heading and you control your windlass that we saw in in the bow, and it tells you how many feet of chain you have down in the water. And this is where you change your setting, your language, your automatic pump, and so on and so forth. So this is, again, very, very interesting page of the control system. The rest is all your standard equipment. Again, this will be a plotter, rudder, deep sounder. You have all your rudder control, same Volvo joystick and system here, and I would say that we are done in, actually I forgot, very interesting feature is the side door. So again, the boat is fairly large, so not necessarily there is people there. You have a captain, you don't want him to interfere, let's say, with the owner life in the case of a crew boat. So these provide a very convenient access to the outside for a captain, okay? So to go in and out. Or, if you want, you can also control and maneuver the boat through the joystick and see exactly how you're maneuvering in a very convenient way. If you need to stick your head out and see what we are doing as far as docking, that also makes maneuvering easier. And once you're done, you close it and you will hear this sound. You just have to hold the door, and then there is pins which lock it and retract it automatically and make it watertight. I think we are done with the main deck. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. I'm trying to go as fast as possible, despite that the boat is full of features and things to talk about, but I think we covered the main deck pretty well. Starting from the master cabin, and while we're here, always very conveniently located handrails throughout, and this is the first of the wonders. In this particular case, we have the optional separated units, Miele, German, best brand on the market, and we offer two options. You can have a combo unit, which will sit here, will be a washer and a dryer in ones. This means that this entire volume will be extra storage or room for any customer need. If you have someone which would like an extra freezer, extra refrigeration, this is a very versatile area, very big volume. You can tell if it's a dryer, so that gives you the idea what you can do here. Or you can have the separate unit. In the US, most likely there will always be two separate units. And extremely easy access also from a technical standpoint, right? So like at home, you have access also to the technical part. And this is where, again, innovation and new comes into place. This is the master. That's a perfect shot if you look at this, because Aquila Salvagni and our design team decided to do something never done before on a boat this size, which leave the part of the bathroom, if you wish, exposed, the sink area, and make it, instead of something that is hidden behind a wall, make it like a piece of art, something that instead you want to expose. And they created, as you can see, they created a path which leads to this new kind of design. All this material that you can see looks like natural stone, looks like marble, is again synthetic, designed and meant to be extremely resistant, so without all the issues that a natural stone would entail, but preserving the look. And then you get into the head, where we have really this incredibly beautiful piece, which is not only pretty, it's also very functional. So of course you have your drawers here for all your toiletry needs, and where you also have some storage, if you wish, for your toothbrushes in case you use the minimum storage here. But you always want to keep this as clean as possible, because it's a piece of design for the boat, and that is the storage. In case, for some reason, you want to create separation, we provide also the option of this beautiful finished door that would close, and then you can create a complete separation of this area and becomes more a traditional head, if you wish, where is a separate room. Of course, the areas where you want to be separated: shower, as always, teak bench and teak bulkhead, same material here, and rain shower here. Again, I am shy of 6 feet tall, 170 pounds weight, and look at my volume to give you an idea. Look how I can move. I have my telephone shower here and my rain shower here. For girls, I always like to say bench are very appreciated. They like to shave their legs, or people which ride bicycles like me. So convenient here, and soap holder, of course. But this is the volume. This is the volume of the shower extraction to extract the moisture. So very, very convenient and comfortable shower. And then, of course, you close this, and here you have your toilet room, which is actually very nice. You have a lot of storage here, and you have a top-loading storage here, which will be working most likely as a dirty laundry kind of dumping area. So design, and then you have, of course, our Tecma system, the best marine toilet that you can have in the world. This one comes equipped with that lever that you see there. It's called the bidet feature. So we offer as an option the toilet with the bidet feature. So again, it's interesting that we started in the master cabin, we started talking about the head, but it's kind of natural because again, we are revolutionizing the layout, if you wish, and we created this integration which leads you to talk about the head first. And also the mirror there, when you come into the cabin, you really have a feeling of space. Imagine, actually a good way to see it is this. If I close this door completely, now you see that the space, it feels more constrained. So look at, by opening this and having a mirror on the other side, of course our designers made a use of space which is much, much more clever. Another interesting feature of the 68 Flybridge, we offer it either this way, which is the way this customer opted to have us build it for him, or picture that this entire wall, if you wish, imagine that is here now. So you have the option of a sort of a walk-in closet. So this entire space will be closet, and we offer it both ways. So either walk-in closet or standard closet. The standard closet is actually extremely generous. Hanging bar, shelves, and drawers. There is room for a safe. Big, deep, nice drawer. And actually, as I always like, I also want to do the technical part of it, because here there's definitely interesting thing to talk about. But just removing these two shelves, and don't worry if the video is a little rough, that's what we do. We show the real life on board. But it's important because that tells you how easy it is to access system. Look, those are all the manifolds that control all your freshwater system, hot and cold. And so sometimes customers feel that the pressure from the sink is too much, or the pressure from the sink is too little, or the pressure from the shower is too much or too little. Those are, you can adjust every head, cold and hot water pressure, by just twisting those knobs. You see also the quality of behind the scene. Everything is labeled, everything is painted, everything has double clamps. That is a drainage box, so all those hoses that you see there, those are drainages that come from various areas, and you see every single hose has double clamp, and that's very important. You could do one, but no, it's better to have double clamp. And you see that the screws are opposed, so each clamp close the hose on the pipe on opposite direction. So that's again I'm probably a little bit of a maniac of these kind of things, but that is quality and understanding of preventing problems and issues. And here you have your manual bilge pump in case of emergency and the electric bilge pump not working. Again, this is very easy. You open this and you put this here, and believe it or not, this is now pumping water out of your bilge in case of emergency. This is mandatory by code, and it's always good to know that A, you have one, and B, where it is. And as you can see, it was just a matter of removing two shelves. Of course, in a boat with the owner on board, there will be something on top of these shelves, but you know, again, this is not things that you access every day. You just want to know where they are and how to reach them in case of need. So, and off you go, and done. So here, self-explanatory, but why not showing them? You have asymmetrical nightstands, so this is a little wider, which is actually resemble our tri-deck. The master cabin of our tri-deck, our flagship, has an asymmetric nightstand in the master layout. So again, Aquila Salvagni is bringing his ideas of design throughout the range. So this is a nightstand. Here you have the switch where you control the TV, and so you can see it coming up from the other side. So when you are in bed and you want to watch a movie, the TV comes up, and then when you're done, or when you you know, you just put it down, and you have look at the size of those frameless window. So you see the TV disappeared, and now you have a beautiful view of the exterior. Very important. Look at this, the amount of storage you have under this bed. So now you see some even some technical. Actually, these are bags of exterior covers, because the boat is brand new, just arrived from Italy. All the exterior covers are still in the bag, and they never seen the outside world, so they're still stored inside. This will all end up in all the storages that I show you on the outside, but this gives you an idea of the volume of storage that you have available and just under the bed. And is also very cleverly done, because all this separation, believe it or not, becomes very, very handy in an environment, again, of boats. So boats, things move, so you want to create separation, and is more complex to build, is more expensive to build. This could have been an entire big, nice hole, and would have been the same volume, but much less intelligent. Instead, in this way, you're sure that whatever you store here will stay here. You will not find it over there after a few hours of bad weather navigation, right? So that's very, very clever. Here, while you're pointing, cabinet, closet with a hanging bar, some, again, audio-video equipment. And remember, the air conditioning, you will notice that in many areas, especially sleeping quarters, wherever it's possible, air conditioning panel, control panel are inside the furniture. And the reason is that once you set them, usually you don't touch them for the night, and they are there, so they don't disturb, they don't bother you at night with the light of the display. So that's why the air conditioning control system is there. Here you have your nice drawer chest, which are actually, again, very nice and organized. Socks, underwear, bathing suits, everything stays in its own place and divided cleverly. And you know, you have the beautiful Salvagni touches, which is you know, his pale yellow silk cushion, which wrap around this designer lamp, which, like the nightstand lamps, are designed by Aquila Salvagni for the Azimut-68 Flybridge. So it's not, these are not things that you can buy off the shelf in any store. They are designed by Aquila for the 68 Flybridge. I want to show you a couple of technical spaces, as usual, because again, I always believe they're important. Let's first of all give you a very good idea of the size of this frameless window, which integrate a portal. We offer all our windows have integrated portals to provide a natural air and natural ventilation. So if you want to recirculate the air, in the US we are more used to be in the air conditioning environment. In Europe, for instance, it's very common that if it's a beautiful night, you leave those two portals open and the air conditioning off, and you have a breeze at night to sleep without the need of air conditioning, and therefore generator. Because if you keep your air conditioning off at night, you know, refrigerators are DC-AC power, so they would hold at the night, and you might really spend the night at the anchor without the noise and vibration of the generator. Even though minimal, still there is a difference between generator on and generator off at night. So that's also why natural ventilation. These are access panel. Once again, this is my master cabin fan coil, and you know, this is what I need to do to clean my filter. That's it. So again, and you can see that here all the system are very accessible. Air conditioning is the one you want to access the easiest and the most. And so we provide good engineering, and sometimes you see these little details here that of course they are not the prettiest thing to look at because this panel would be nicer without. Actually, it would be nicer to have no panels at all. But again, it's a boat, so we need the systems and we need them to be accessible easily. And so this is a very elegant way to do it. On the other side, the same logic, I will not do it for you. Under here is actually the subwoofer. The audio subwoofer for this area is located here. I think we did everything in the master. Yes, I would say so. So we can approach the other cabins. We were very lucky to do the exterior when we did, because look at the amount of rain that is pouring. So let's do the VIP. So in order of size, VIP cabin. Again, very spacious, very minimum step to go to bed, so very comfortable, and I still have a very good height. So again, to access the bed, typically the V-berth is not easy to make it comfortable and convenient to access. Instead, I would say that this ergonomics, as you can see, my body language is I'm already flexing, and to go to bed, I am not touching, and now I have plenty of height. I don't feel constrained at all. So the engineering and architecture here, they did an amazing job, I believe, to create this environment of very convenient ergonomic, but still a very good height. When you get up or when you watch a movie, you don't feel the ceiling. And remember, up here is that beautiful dinette of the bow that we saw. So that folding sofa, all those features that are up here. So it's not easy to create that and this in the same kind of volume. Beautiful Aquila Salvagni pieces. So instead of the typical nightstand, they created these are integrated in the furniture, and this is your nightstand. And then you have storage here to store whatever, your cell phone. You see the socket is right here, so you can put your cell phone for the night so it doesn't bother you with the light. It is integrated in here. Same goes for the other side. Just showing the size and volume of the closet. You have one with shelves here. Actually, once again, interesting to show how easy it is to access system. So by just removing this panel right here, they all have these clips which are designed to be taken in and out on a constant basis. So they're very sturdy. But again, nobody can say that it's not easy to access the air conditioning system of the VIP cabin to regular maintenance or extraordinary maintenance. I mean, it's extremely easy. Once you're done, you put it back in place and done. And here will be actually very convenient. You will have nothing on top of this. So very, very easy. Storage on the other side. Here is where you have your hanging bar, as deep as possible for girls' dresses. Obviously not a long gown, but as deep as possible for sure. And beautiful drawer and 4 shelves on the side. Again, access to technical spaces. This, if the memory serves me correctly, is your access to your black water carbon filter. Yeah, there it is. So this is, and again, don't worry, there's no smell coming out from here, but this is something that want to be replaced and accessible. And so this is as easy as it is to replace the carbon elements of your black water tank vent system. And then once you're done, you just put your panel back and you're done. So again, I always like to show it's a boat, so it requires technical access, technical involvement, and the easiest, the better is the experience. Television, and now is a signature piece, so probably useless to repeat it, but of course there is a television behind this beautiful mirror, probably the sound bar called it out. But again, when the television is off, you have a beautiful mirror, which is actually a full size, and a beautiful piece of art. So instead of having an ugly appliance hanging from the wall, we integrated behind this beautiful design. And under here, you have an immense amount of storage. So that gives you really an idea. Just to give you an idea, this is the amount of stuff that is in here. This is all the exterior cover of the boat. As I said before, they're all brand new, so they're still inside. But this gives you an idea that entire volume and is available for storage. And then you have the 2 side pockets and 3 pockets in the front to furtherly divide. As you can see, the bed stays up by itself, no effort. So this is almost a closet, if you wish. It's so easy to open and close that can be called a closet for at least, bathing suit, and everything that doesn't need to be hanging can be conveniently there. Let's move to the head. Believe it or not, I don't know if it's me, I love this door. Look at what our engineering have done. Look at this beautiful piece of glass, custom made to create the perfect volume for the shower when you're in, without creating ugly silicone lines. So look at this, a beautiful piece with the Azimut Yacht's integrated handle, custom made for us. And again, a shower of absolutely incredible size, because VIP cabin, and I am perfectly comfortable. I can move around, my ergonomics are great. I have a bench in this head as well, so the story of the bench goes on here as well. Natural ventilation and natural light in my head. So really a shower which feels like home. You might wonder, glass is delicate, yes, and so you want to make sure that when you navigate, you might encounter some bad weather. We think always about everything. So this, first of all, you want to remember that you lock it in place, but when you do, as you can see, this door doesn't move and doesn't go anywhere. So these are little details which, number one, are thought by people which go at sea and make a solution clever. It's interesting to report it because I wouldn't be surprised if some owners would find out about this maybe a year and a half after they own the boat. So storage, very convenient. Your little toothbrush hidden. In this case, 3 shelves here, and you have storage under there, a shelf of storage there. So, and a beautiful piece of art as the sink. I would say we are done talking about the VIP head. Let's move maybe to the guest by stopping here, because this works as day head. So if you have guests on board which need to use the bathroom, this is the bathroom which have access from this landing area, this common landing area. So picture that all the doors of all the cabins are closed and you have guests on board. This will be your day head, the head that everybody will use, but is also used by these 2 cabins. So that's why it's very roomy, very spacious, very big. It's a multi-purpose head, very big shower. Again, I will not repeat, but my ergonomics are perfectly fine. I don't feel constrained in any way. And I actually didn't mention it in the other shower, but all the shower that we have been through, the access to our drainages is always done in the same way. We have what we call, these are called feet locks. And you heard that noise when I lifted, because they are designed to create an interesting amount of resistance, because once the panel is in place, you don't want it to move, but you want it to be easily removable to clean the drainage system. Again, very important. Sometimes people go through issues on gray water pumps, and most of the time the reason is that maintenance is not done. So that's why we provide easy access to the drainage system. Oops, those fly. Access to the bilge and access to the drainages and systems from the shower tray. And okay, this is very tight. And but again, important that access is provided, and then once you're done, you lock it in place and doesn't give you any wobbly feeling. It feels extremely solid. That's why those feet locks works very well. They're kind of hard to pop in and out, but once they're in, they don't move. Storage, again, same storage here that we saw in the VIP head with your toothbrush there. Storage here under the sink, a nice shelf here for the other bathroom accessories with this turquoise design, and you have noticed that in every head. So this is again is Aquila Salvagni. This is where the design comes to details. So you have a piece of mirror here which create a sense of deepness, and a light blue, light baby blue effect here which is reflected on the mirror. So there is a lot of thinking, if you think about it, behind that piece of furniture. We can go this way. Guest cabin. Guest cabin. There are two guest cabins, port and starboard. This is a side-by-side. I want to show you the size of the bed, because this is a cabin where I would have no problem at all to spend multiple nights. As you can see, the bed is roomy and comfortable, very long, an integrated audio-video system there behind the mirror, like we saw in the VIP cabin. So once you don't see it, is a beautiful full-size mirror which offer, the feature of a mirror. And then when you turn on the TV, that's your movie making. We have interesting is here we have a storage under both mattresses. So this is purposely vented, so there is no moisture accumulation. So you can store things here that are everyday access, or you can store things here which stay there as for once in a while need. That's why it's vented. Vented storage here, and this is actually your access to your fan coil once again. So again, cleaning and maintaining system made extremely easy. So you can maintain the fan coil and clean the filters really by removing one hatch and lifting a mattress. So fantastic access. So the same applies under these mattresses. I want to show you something because it's something we offer which is interesting. Here, this is a piece of a mattress, and you see there is a frame here. So this is what we call a filler. This customer wanted this cabin to be able to become a full bed. So with that frame, with those legs that you see behind there, you understand that these legs pop down, and this is a frame which goes here in the middle. This piece of mattress goes on top of the frame, and this entire area now becomes a big double bed. So very, very clever. And once you don't need it, it stores right there. So that's what that is. And in case you don't order the filler, this is all available storage as it is that one. We have, of course, nightstand storage here for phone and remote controls. Your light control, Aquila Salvagni design, light details, which are always nice. We invest a lot of time, brain, and money into lighting. So there is always a lot of light details. And we can go now to the port side guest, which is an unconventional layout, if you wish, but again, 68 feet, providing 4 cabins. We opted for this L shape, where is not a bunk bed, because this bed is definitely lower than a bunk bed, because this configuration allows to create, enough height for the 2 bed to be, appropriate. So we offer audio video entertaining system for both beds. So below there is the TV for this bed, so the person which is sleeping here can watch his a movie in peace without the need. Of course, maybe headphones would help, but each of the bed has his own audio video system. You have very generous hanging locker and shelf for storage, and this is the leaf that I talked to you about before up there in the dinette, which goes in between the 2 tables to make it a full indoor dining table. That's the leaf, which actually fit under the sofa in the dinette. Right now is here because it has been temporarily placed there, but it fits under the sofa, so it stays there. So you have your storage. So this is a perfect kids room. Kids love it, create that little playful environment, but even adults can sleep in this cabin. I would rather sleep here and be somewhere on Azimut 68 than sleep in a king-size bed in the center of, I don't know, Chicago. So I will take this every day. What else? I think we are done. So no, we are not done at all. We are missing the engine room and the crew quarters, and it's a perfect timing because it looks like the sun came out. So we can now approach, I would say, we could do the engine room. If you come outside, let me open this. And then last but surely not least, we do the crew quarter. So always face a ladder. And here is actually the heart. So come down here, there is plenty of room for you as well, Josh. And again, as I always say, this is, believe it or not, my favorite part of the boat. I apologize if I will start sweating in a little while, but this boat, as I said, we just came from Dania, 2.5 hours in the intercoastal, so everything was pretty heat up and it's still fairly hot in here. Main babies, IPS 1350, Volvo Penta D13. And so the amazing thing, from talking about IPS for me is never tiring. First of all, 68 feet, almost 70 feet, 4 cabins, you can have up to 10 people sleeping on this boat and going around and cruising. And at cruising speed, you're talking about 70 gallons an hour. 70 gallons an hour. So it is unheard of. You know, back in the days, even our 66, which the 68 replaced, was the Caterpillar C18, the typical old school, heavy, high fuel burning engine and propulsion system. It would have been twice as much, close to twice as much. So really the fuel burn, and this is in a way, of course, we build diesel power yachts, so it's difficult to be green completely, but you can do the best you can in what you can in order to be the greenest you can be. And we could have stayed with our status quo, with our shaft line, a traditional high fuel burning design, and save us the headaches and the investments of the redesigning completely hulls and system. And instead, no, we decided to immediately adopt IPS. We believed in the technology from the get-go. We supported Volvo Penta, and now this is the third of our Flybridge collection models, the 78, the 53, and now the 68, which also adopt IPS propulsion. And the reason, one of the reasons, is significantly less fuel burn, which means significantly less emissions, which means being much more conscious about the environment, as much as you can. The other, of course, advantages are renowned. Vibration and noise are dramatically cut compared to the same boat propelled by a standard propulsion line with shaft and propeller. Vibration and noise are significantly less, in the order of 40% less vibration and noise than a standard propulsion system. Maneuverability and all the features that we talked about before as far as joystick, assisted docking, DPS, all of that is only possible with IPS. Last but surely not least is the amount of space that you have available in the engine room, because the engines are much, much smaller. Remember, an IPS propulsion develop the equivalent of 30% more in terms of diesel power than a standard propulsion system. So in other words, the engine itself, this, can be 30% less power than the one developed at the propellers by the pods. So in other words, you can have much smaller engines, much more space in the engine room, and much more space in the lower deck. So we can afford to have much less height. On shaft line, there is a typical angle installation, because the shaft need to go through the boat on an angle, versus here you see that's the shaft. Under that steel cover there is the shaft which goes to the pods. Is very flat, so the installation of the engines is flat, which is optimal mechanically, also for oil flow. And the engine room is more space, and the bulkhead, the aft bulkhead, can be more aft, leaving more room to the living quarters. So it's really a no-brainer. It's only advantages when it comes to IPS. I'm sitting on the brand new Seakeeper 18, another element of innovation for Azimut Yachts. No more in the industry, and when I say innovation, I mean that Seakeeper was introduced with Azimut Yachts at the real beginning, when they were looking for a manufacturer to believe in the project and help them put the idea, make it become real, and insert it into a boat environment. Azimut Yachts is the company which opened the door. Matter of fact, for the first 3 years of Seakeeper on the market, Azimut Yachts has the exclusivity. So it's very important not to brag about it, but just to give an understanding of the DNA of a company. Because now it's easy to talk about Seakeeper. Now you have Seakeeper on 25 feet center console. But 15 years ago, listening to someone which were talking about gyroscopic stabilization in a vacuum-sealed bowl of steel wasn't that necessarily that easy to believe. As a matter of fact, nobody else supported and believed it apart from Azimut. So that tells you and gives you a DNA of a company, open to listen, open to innovation, open to be the first to introduce new system, which now became the standard in the industry. So that's why I always like to talk and mention Seakeeper. Going around on systems, which I always like, first of all, space. Look at the height. Again, 68 feet. Look at this. Look at the amount of height. How can I move very conveniently into the engine room? This, in case you wonder, fuel tank, 1,000 gallon. So side to side, by default, perfectly balanced. This is your visual inspection. We saw that you can see the fuel level from the monitoring system, but you always want to make sure that you know how much fuel you have. So you press these two buttons and you see the amount of fuel. In this case, it's completely full because it's going to be delivered to the owner with a completely full tank, as all our boats. Racor filters on both sides, so you can select the one, the other, or both. This is your air conditioning system, Dometic, chill water. So all the compressors and the gas are in here. The only thing you have in the boat is a loop of cold water which passes through the fan coils to provide conditionment to the air. But all the gas and all the noise, if you wish, is all here. This is actually your raw water, air conditioning raw water pump. This is your raw water strainer and filter. As you can see, water from the ocean come into here. Through these 4 bolts, you open it to clean it. Water goes into that pump and then goes to that new system, Electro-C clear line. You see behind there is behind the scene, but it's a very important system which is connected to this display, and is basically what that is a descaling system through DC voltage. Produce basically guaranteed the known growth into the lines of raw water for your air conditioning system. So basically it keeps the air conditioning loop of raw water, which is extremely important. That is the loop which takes away the heat from the inside of the boat and transform it into cool. And the more growth, because that is all salt water, right? So salt water meaning that barnacles and elements grow and they obstruct the flow. The less flow of water, the more issues you have with your air conditioning system. So it's very common to descale your air conditioning system or do deep cleaning of your raw water system. With the clear line from Electro-C, no longer. You install this system and that keeps the entire loop of your raw water always clean. So very important system. That is your freshwater pump right there. This Gianneschi Ramacciotti here with your reset button in case of need. Hot water heater there. Bilge pump, automatic bilge pump there. This customer actually required us to install this very technologically advanced Spot Zero Dometic water maker, which produce also Spot Zero water, meaning that you can use it to wash the boat and removes all the minerals from the water, so it doesn't leave those drops, those shading of the drops once they dry. That's why it's called spot zero, zero spot. So very sophisticated piece of equipment there. A lot of filters. These filters right here are for that water maker as well. Generator, cooler, as I said before, 21 kW. This is the fuel filter of the generator is right there. Raw water for the generator is right there, and the raw water strainer is right there. So as you can see, everything is extremely accessible. You have a ton of space to install extra system, extra components, seacock for your main engines, extremely easy, accessible right here. Everything is accessible and safe. You have these very handy lights which you can detach and bring wherever you need to in order to perform any sort of maintenance of that you care. You can bring your lights and put it anywhere you need and have now a perfect working environment, and then you put it back here. So again, we thought about all the little details. A lot of room above the fuel tank. This is an area where I would definitely build some shelving and put my tools in here. Perfect. What we have here, we're jet set batteries. On the other side, if you stay there, I'll pass in front of you. And so let me remove this real quick for a minute. So we go on that side. On that side, you have your hydraulic unit right there, which move the gangway as well as the swim platform, what we saw at the beginning of the video. That is all controlled by there. That's your, as I said, your water maker. Those are your battery boxes down there. That white, let me shine some light down there. So that white bucket that you see down there is the Glendinning cable master that we discussed at the beginning of the video. So as you can see, everything is very roomy, extremely accessible. So that's the way you want an engine room to be. Last but not least, I always like to show also the interior of our main electrical panels to make sure that we don't make only videos which show, you know, on top of the rug, but we also have no problem at all to lift the rug and show what is underneath, because it's the same level of quality of the rest. So this is an example of how our electrical system are done. If you look here at the top, you can see every single cable is labeled, all the connections are labeled. We provide paper and digital electric drawings, so you see that every single component, 2025 DC positive power, of course, red, and therefore you go on the drawings and you're going to find exactly this is most likely is a battery switch, from what I would be able to tell. Let me see. Yeah, matter of fact, is a battery switch. So this is the level of quality, also the execution of the technical part. Battery chargers, very important, and regulators. So quick and master volt. And I would say all the brands in here are all prime brands. Volvo Penta, Kohler, Seakeeper, Dometic, Janeschi. So all the name and all the brands of the system which matters are, they have worldwide service, worldwide distribution, parts distribution. So we really focus not on saving few pennies and buying cheaper components, but putting in here what lasts the most and is the easiest to service. I think we are done with the engine room. We can get out and get some fresh air and do the crew quarters. Okay, lock in place. Let's close this so we don't have the heat coming inside, and we can go back this way, and then I promise we are done. Crew quarters are actually very spacious and roomy, and it's really worth it taking a look at them. First of all, of course, the both of us can fit, so feel free to come down here. And So, room for two. This bed, extremely comfortable, to the point that I will show you the size of this bed, because it's actually bigger than the port guest side bed. So very roomy. This will be probably the favorite if you have a captain. Storage, full of now accessories. Very interesting. We provide every boat from the get-go with a full set of extra zincs, as well as many other parts. These are obviously fuel filters, but extra zincs. So very, very important to please replace your zincs. As soon as they reach 50% of their original mass, they need to be replaced. Is not true, is really a dock legend. The fact, oh, I still have zincs there. No, zincs are effective until they are up to 50% of their original mass. So once this is half in terms of volume and size, it needs to be replaced. Otherwise, you are calling for problems. And if the zincs are instead, my zincs are always good, I never replace them because they're never worn off, then you better have your system, your bonding system check, please, because the zincs are supposed to deplete and they are supposed to be replaced as soon as they reach 50% of their original mass, please. And this is the reason why we provide, included with every boat, a full set of zincs. Of course, nightstands. We're talking about volume, so again, it's a crew quarter, but look at the height, look at the comfort. Storage for clothing here, now again, is full of miscellaneous stuff because the boat is brand new, just arrived. And then you have the second bed here. Now we even have two scuba diving tank here. And this is the shore power cord, which I'll show you later where it's supposed to be. But this is the one we talked about it before. This boat didn't order the second Glendinning Cable Master, so this will be the manual shore power cord. Again, super easy access to your air conditioning system, so no excuses to don't take care of it and don't maintain it. Right here. And again, to be a crew quarter, fairly generous, 68 feet, and full head with integrated shower. So, and instead, in cases where owners would not have crew, because again, on this kind of boat, with the help of the technology that we have today between IPS, cameras, and so on and so forth, is more and more common to have owners go up in the size of boat that they own or operate. And so they wouldn't have a full-time crew. They might have a yacht management company. They might have people helping them once the boat is at the dock, taking care of them, maintaining them, but not necessarily having a crew when they go on vacation. This could be an extra cabin for a couple of extra kids. Actually, teenagers love these cabins because, you know, nobody knows what time they come back at night. But also could be instead that you remove the mattresses, and this is a fantastic storage area now for toys. Imagine paddleboard, wakeboard, diving gear. You can set up and make this a dive shop if you want. So it's really a versatile area, and it's also very convenient to have a bathroom back here, because when you're in and out of water, wet feet, you need to go to the bathroom, you want to take maybe a little longer shower, you can use this bathroom if it's not your crew quarter, rather than, sorry, didn't want to close the door on you, rather than going inside the boat. So this is it becomes a very convenient, you know, day head for the beach club, if you wish. Under these stairs, if you were wondering why these are here, this is again all extra storage. It's very important, crew quarter, so this and that opens, and this is extra volume of storage, shoes and you name it. So why leaving it unused if it's there? Going out, I promise, last feature is actually that, which is definitely not the least, because if you have been boating and you know boating is so convenient to have something like this right here. So again, dry storage right on your transom, lines, toys, compressors to inflate the toys, you name it. You can really have a very intelligent use of that space right here without the need to go anywhere, and it's dry. So is a gasket, and whatever you put in there will stay dry. and lockable, which is also very important. So you have a key. Once you lock this, becomes both doors are lockable. Of course, the crew quarters, you want them to be lockable, but also that storage is lockable. And I would say that today from sunny, again, Pompano Beach, Florida, in the beautiful MarineMax yachting center location, we are done. Thank you for watching the brand new Azimut Yachts 68 Flybridge. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask, and I hope this was useful. I know it's long, but at least now you know the boat, I hope, much better than before. Thank you.